Scientists predict much of the debris from the tsunami will reach the west coast in October. As we reported last week, it's already hitting the shores of Alaska.
John Blackstone went to Montague Island, which is just south of Anchorage, to show us that growing mountain of trash.
On a clear spring day, the Alaskan coast can seem glorious in its rugged isolation. But take a closer look at the beach, and the sense of isolation quickly fades. Plastic and foam, barrels, bottles, and fishing gear sit among the driftwood on Montague Island on the Gulf of Alaska. It's one of the first places in America being hit by debris that was swept into the ocean by the Japanese tsunami more than a year ago. Chris Pallister, who runs annual beach cleanups in Alaska, says debris from the ocean commonly washes up here, but never before like this.
This beach we're looking at here is at least 50 miles of this. And there are hundreds and hundreds of tons of debris on this beach.
When the tsunami destroyed entire villages in Japan, millions of tons of debris ended up in the ocean. Much of it sank quickly, close to shore. But it's estimated that 1.5 million tons remained afloat. Carried by winds and currents, it's been making its way across the Pacific ever since.
The beach is littered with fishing floats and these huge chunks of urethane foam used as insulation in buildings in Japan. Then there's these sort of liquid containers, Japanese writing on them. The driftwood has been washing up on this beach for centuries, but this is new.
We can tell there's more because we do monitoring projects out there on an annual basis.
Pallister runs Gulf of Alaska Keeper, a group that spends the summer organizing beach cleanups. There is plenty of trash, even without the grief of the tsunami.
Yeah, we really have just poured our heart and soul into this, and it's hard. It's all we do. This is definitely out of building. Look at all the structural metal in it.
Pallister says every piece of debris they pick up will be a reminder of tragedy.
You feel a great deal of sympathy for all that horrible destruction the people in Japan suffered, but it doesn't make it any less easy to take care of.
When a basketball turned up on the shore in southeast Alaska recently, it was traced back to a Japanese middle school destroyed by the tsunami. Alicia Hohorst, who found the ball, is preparing to send it back. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has been running models to predict where the wreckage from Japan will end up. Nancy Wallace is director of NOAA's Marine Debris Program.
We think there's a large area of the United States that can be affected by this marine debris. Certainly the west coast of the United States, Alaska, Hawaii, even British Columbia and Canada.
Wallace says over the next year, tsunami debris could hit Washington, Oregon, and California.
The Pacific Ocean is huge. It's just so vast, and the debris really dispersed throughout the ocean. It's certainly possible that the amount of debris could be higher or lower than expected. These are estimates.
What we're seeing is probably just a speck of what went out, you know.
Fisherman Tim Cabana just sailed up the west coast all the way from Tacoma to Seward, Alaska. He saw plenty of debris along the way, but is confident the ocean can handle it.
The ocean's a big place, so that stuff's spread out over thousands and thousands of miles. 98% of it or 99% of it's just going to disappear.
Walking through what has already landed on Montague Island, however, Chris Pallister worries that it will be harder than ever to keep this wilderness wild and unspoiled. For CBS This Morning, John Blackstone, Montague Island, Alaska.